All right, guys, today's question is, how much can I buy for $300,000? Stay tuned, and we're going to actually dig into the details. Let's go.
You better get fired up.
Guys, good to see you. We're here every single Friday with You've Got Questions, I've Got Answers. This week, they're asking, what can I get in Port St. Lucie for $300,000? So we're going to dig into it, but really there's two paths you can kind of go down here. I might even add a third, probably not a third path. I'll tell you the third path, but I'll tell you why it's probably going to be challenging for you. So the first path is a single family home and, up to $300,000. One of the biggest challenges is going to be that a lot of those homes that are $300,000 and less are either going to have really old roofs that if you don't replace it, good luck getting insurance. If you can't get insurance, you can't get your loan. Or you're going to have to come up with massive money out of pocket to be able to put that roof on. And when I say massive, you might say, well, a roof is only $12,000, $15,000, $18,000. I can come up with that. You don't have to just come up with that. You got to come up with your down payment, which on FHA, that's going to be 3.5%. On conventional, it's going to be 3 to 5% down. And you got to come up with your closing costs, which I usually tell people in that price point, you're looking at around 4%. So you're looking at a lot of costs out of pocket already. Now, that's not taking into consideration the fact that the seller could help you with some of those costs. It's not taking into consideration the fact that mom and dad could gift you some funds. There are solutions to these problems, but those are problems nonetheless, right? It's just something you want to take into consideration. So the first path is single family home. Second path is going to be a condo or a townhouse in an HOA, and you can easily find them for not just $300,000, but well under $300,000. The two challenges are, number one, you've got shared walls, and a lot of people just say, I'm not going to do shared walls. The second thing is you've got HOA fees, right? So now you're adding $400, $600, $700, $800 a month. Typically $150,000 of price is right around $100 a month. I'm sorry. $15,000 a month in price is right around $100 a month in payment. So when you're talking a $500 a month HOA fee, that's like $75,000 in price. So this isn't perfectly exact, but it's close enough. That means a $300,000 home outside of an HOA is roughly similar to a $225 price point in an HOA with a $500 a month HOA fee if you're just looking at monthly payment alone. Now, it's not perfect because your insurance is probably going to be a little bit lower because part of your HOA fee likely covers, or at least a lot of times it covers, some of that insurance, the exterior. You're also getting a lot of things taken care of for you that outside of an HOA you wouldn't, like lawn care, internet, cable, pest control, etc. You're either going to have to physically do those things or pay for those things if you're not in an HOA. And your insurance is usually going to be less too when you're purchasing a $225,000 shared wall property. Your taxes, shared wall property versus a $300,000 standalone home, right? If the value, just values alone, is roughly a quarter less, right? 2.25 versus 300, your taxes are going to be roughly a quarter less. So all those things are things to take into consideration. But the third option, which I don't really think is going to be possible, is a standalone single-family home in a community like an HOA. However, there's an asterisk to that, and I'm going to show you that asterisk here at the end. So let's quit talking so much. I'm probably boring the crap out of you, and get into the MLS, where we can take a look at actual properties on the market right now. And I want to tell you, too, while we're looking at these properties, you're looking at the MLS right now. While we're looking at these properties, remember that you can still negotiate. A lot of people right now are overpriced. They know what their home was worth 6, 12, 18 months ago. They're still wishing and hoping. They remember what that Zillow's estimate used to say. And when I come in and tell them, hey, you're worth 20, 30, 40 grand less, they don't like it and they want to list higher. That's probably 50 to 70% of the homes on the market right now. I'm making up that number, but that's my general sentiment just with what I see on a daily basis. So remember that what you see is not necessarily what the closing price is going to be. So we're at, let's come up to price. and we're going to go $300,000 as a max. We're going to come down to type, and let's look up single family homes. We've got 91 options, okay? And you can see they're all over the place. But if you're paying $300,000, you're not going to be able to afford, if you're trying to stay at the payment associated with 300 grand, which is roughly $2,400 to $2,800. It could be more than $2,800. It could be less than $2,400. But that's typically what I'm seeing on a home outside of an HOA with typical insurance, typical taxes, a typical rate, and roughly 3.5% down on an FHA mortgage. $2,400 to $2,800 is pretty normal, okay? So we're going to come in and I'm going to type in homeowners association, none. That brings our 91 to 55. Okay, so now I'm assuming you're going to want something with, let's say, a 10-year-old roof or newer, because otherwise you're going to have that giant cash issue coming up in the, when I say near future, I mean, the next 5 to 10 years. So look at roof installed. And this is one big challenge that a lot of listing clients, sellers are facing right now, is realtors are not filling this in. Sometimes when you don't fill this in, it's because you've got a 20-year roof and you're like, I don't want to tell them. I think you should tell them anyway. They're going to find out. And when they find out, you're going to have an offer under contract. You're going to have sellers that are emotionally attached to this offer. And then the deal's going to fall apart. Or they're going to get heavily negotiated with at the time of inspection. And it's going to be an absolute emotion destroyer. You can beat people up in your original offer at a much higher rate than you can at inspection. Because at inspection, they think you're taking advantage of them. Up front, they think, this is part of the negotiation. Now, I'm generalizing there. That's not 100% true. But I find when I negotiate on day one, I am much more able to get that negotiation accepted than when I try to negotiate after inspection. Unless we have a major issue that was not foreseen. If you got a roof leak that you couldn't see, or you got mold that you couldn't see, or the AC is not working and you couldn't see that, a lot of times you're going to be able to get those things taken care of after inspection. But if it's something you could see, you could have figured out the age of the roof. If it's the age of the AC, you could have figured out the age of the AC. If it's the fact that the flooring's old or it's carpet or what, you knew that. Those are tough things to negotiate because the seller's thinking, you knew that. So you're taking advantage of me. And it doesn't matter if you knew it or not. That's the perception of the seller. It's tougher. So you want to present that all up front. So coming in here, out of 55, 33 of them, that's, I think, exactly 60%, are not filling in their roof date. And it might be a newer roof. We're going to come in and check a couple of them here in a second. So I'm going to mark some of these that have newer roofs. So we'll go back to 2015. Well, look, there's a huge gap. 2008, 2017. So boom, we're going to take everything with 2017 and newer. Now, you know what? I'm going to backtrack on what I said. I said we're going to dig into these other 33. I think that's going to be too time consuming. I would do this normally for a buyer. I'm not going to do it with you guys because I don't want to bore you, but that is what you would want to do. Okay. Go in and individually check all of them. I'm not going to do that. So let's come back and look at these 11 that we know have 10-year-old roofs or newer. Now, when I look at price, and again, you got to remember, none of these are in HOAs. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's count these 6, 7 of them that are 289.9 or higher. That's 7 out of the 11. But we've got 4 that are 280, 275, 269.9, and 249.9. Okay. Square footage wise, you're anywhere from 894, and there's 4 of them that are lower square footage wise, right? 894, 900, 924, and 936. But you've got a couple that are 1,700 square feet, 15, 14, and 12. Now, I'm going to tell you, without even looking at these homes, the second biggest property, 1,432 square feet, is the lowest priced. I almost guarantee you there's something wrong with that home, or something, undesirable about that home, or it probably would have already sold. Now, I'm going to backtrack on that a little bit. It's possible, because it's only got 2 days on market, that's not true. It might just be priced really well. So we're going to take a look at some of these, right? And we've only got 11, so let's dig into all of them. They're all 2 bed, 2. Well, that's not true. So we got a 2 bed, 1 bath, 2 bed, 2 bath, 2 bed, 2 bath, 4 bed, 3 bath. And it's got 1,700 square feet, but it's on a Rosso. So it's a busy street. So you've got to decide, do I like getting more house? This is assuming it's in the same condition, same amenities as the rest, but I'm on a busy street, or is that so important to me that I'm willing to take lesser home, lesser amenities? And there's no right or wrong answer. It's up to you. But I usually tell people, if you've got a home that's worth, let's just say $300,000, 5 blocks off of a busy street, on the busy street, that $300,000 home is probably going to be worth about $270,000, $275,000. If it's a $400,000 to $500,000 home, you can take off $30,000, $40,000. It just is what it is. So the plus is when you buy, you're getting a deal. The negative is when you sell, somebody else is getting a deal, right? And it's apples to apples. It is what it is. So you've got to decide what's important to you and just move forward with it. So let's start taking, I want to look at one more thing. Garages. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 that don't have garages. The rest all have 1 stall, except for this one right here on Buswell. That one's got 2 stalls. So let's just come in and take a look at some of these photos. So this one's got a renovated kitchen minus the flooring. I can't tell if those are new cabinets or not, but they look nice. Appliances look nice. You've got brand new, I'm guessing that's quartz, and you've got a nice, tasteful backsplash. It's dressed well, and you've got a nice new ceiling fan up there. Okay. So these guys love the kitchen so much they made that their main photo, which I don't think is crazy. You've got a fence. It looks dated. It looks a little worn. It's wood, but you can see they freshened up their mulch out front. They got some nice mature trees in the background. They were coming back into the kitchen. You've got tile. People like tile. It is original tile, but it's tile nonetheless. You've got an open layout, which a lot of people like. What was that? I have no idea what this door right here is. I got to go back and look at these photos. What is that? Oh, it's like a makeshift pantry. Okay, I got you. Interesting. Okay, so here's your living room, and then you can see back in the hallway, you've got probably 2 beds and a bath, or 2 beds and 2 baths. Here is your main bathroom. You've got quartz, which is nice. Nice tile flooring. Doesn't match. It's more updated, but you've got tile flooring. Looks like 8-foot ceilings. You've got the ceiling fan. Nice walk-in closet. There's your backyard. So this one's probably a 2-bed, 1 bath. You've got a shed, which is great because in Florida, there is nowhere to store your stuff. Here we've got a shed. That is certainly convenient. And if you've got dogs, kids, you want a fence, you've got it. You've got a nice little patio back. It's not covered, so they got the umbrella there, which is great. Mature trees. This is a big backyard. Yeah, that's really nice. That's really nice. And again, you've got the newer roof. All of these do, so that's great. Let's go to the next one. Fruit Avenue. All right, so again, we're right around 300 here. Okay, so this is also dated flooring. We've got dated lighting. The furniture makes it feel more dated than it is. We've got popcorn ceilings, 8-foot ceilings. Dated, probably granite. I can't tell if that's granite or Formica, but I think it's granite. You've got a small, probably 3.5 inch backsplash. Yeah, you can tell. I'm not trying to beat on this person, but you can tell they do not have a professional photographer. Guys, a professional photographer on a $300,000 home is probably going to make you $10,000 to $15,000 more, and they'll cost you $200-300. It's a no-brainer. Yeah, you can see we got 2 people here. We've got this open, no staging or very little staging. It's a big deal. Again, I'm not trying to beat up on this person. I just want you guys to see for you so that you, when you list yours, can be better. So here again, we don't have matching appliances. There's nothing that really wows me. It does, it doesn't outshine that. That last one looked good. I like that last one. All right, so this one is on Buswell. Okay, so now this one has a pool. It is an above ground pool, but it's a pool nonetheless. It looks like you've got a fully fenced backyard. Again, you've got the newer roof. Nice big backyard. You got a mature tree out there. Cute front. I like that. Driveway is a little beat up, but that's not a huge priority, or at least in my opinion, it shouldn't be. Okay, we got some newer flooring in the living room. Looks like we got original tile in the dining room, and I'm guessing kitchen. It's kind of a similar layout as the first one that we saw. It might be an exactly same layout. That looks like Formica countertops. And a nice little tile backsplash. Okay, we got the newer flooring in here as well. 8-foot ceilings. All right, we upgraded the vanity. We got quartz in here. Walk-in closet. That's a very unique carpet. But it's an extra little bonus room. Let me come back to that. Okay, I see what's going on. If you ever see all this decorative, see up here, I was trying to see if this was a water issue. It's decorative. What they do is this fan was not here. So then they put the fan in, but there's a hole that's kind of ugly, right? Because they're doing patchwork over that hole that they created. So instead what they do is they do this decorative like fanning out over that area. So when you see that, it's not something to be scared of. They're literally just trying to make that ugly hole better. And here is a little advice. If you're going to do home photography, which please do not do, turn your fans off. Otherwise you get this look and you're so focused on the goofy fan that you don't pay attention to the walk-in closet, all the natural light coming out of this this window and the newer flooring that we've got. Okay. All right. So this is all original. Original. Oh, that's kind of cute. Whoa. So this looks good. This looks dull. Why would you have that first photo? I don't know. But the backyard looks great. This looks great. Yeah, nice big backyard. So there you go. Now, where are we at on price? Now we're still at $299. So this is the last one that's right up against that $300,000 price point. A little bit different elevation, much more unique look to the house. Again, we've got a roof that's no more than 10 years old. Oh, look at that. That's a great photo because you got the two mature trees kind of framing this house in the photo. And then you've got a one-stall garage. It looks like it's not detached, but you've got some little probably laundry room or some room connecting it. I like that. Super. Oh, and the fence makes it cute. You got a longer driveway. You've got this little front patio area. I can see you've got accordions on this. It's not full accordions, though. The rest are going to have metal shutters. You've got gutters, which is nice. Okay. The flooring is great. That yellow wall is unique. Okay, so we've got a mechanical chair. And there they dressed it up. I like that. That is an interesting thing they did with that chair. Okay. Yep, good job. Okay. Cool. Oh, I think the kitchen's going to look. Yeah. So I'm seeing this more and more. It's not really my taste, but I am seeing it more. It is tasteful wallpaper. It does match the look of the kitchen, the blue of the cabinets. We've got a two-tone cabinet, right? Blue and white. That I'm seeing more of. We've got the white subway tile, white appliances. Yeah, there you go. Okay, there's your laundry room. I don't think that's the room connecting the garage to the house. This is this looks original minus the tile on the floor. This looks original. That is absolutely original. This has newer flooring, but again, you got the 8-foot ceilings. Yeah, so anytime you've got this white wire shelving on a room wall, not inside of a closet, it's a turnoff. I would say try to get rid of those because most people are not going to want those there. This is unique. Is this upstairs? This is unique. That is from 1927. Yeah, but it does look clean. I mean, you never know until you get an inspection, but it does look clean. It does look nice. Okay, this looks deeper than normal. So it might be like 1.5 cars deep. It might even be 2 cars deep. Either that or they just got great photography, which means you've got some storage space or you could park 2 cars. That is super cute. That is super, man. It is a 2-story. I love this house. I like that one personally. That one, though, of course I love it, is the one on Oroso. So from memory, that was the biggest. It's got the most bedrooms, most bathrooms. but you're on a busy street. Okay, now we got a metal roof. This is great. And I know you're looking at this compared to some of the others and you're thinking, ugh, this is kind of ugly, right? You've got to look beyond the overgrown plants because you can clean that up easy on a weekend. You've got to overlook the bike and the trash because that can be moved and cleaned up. You got to overlook these weeds. You can pull them. The shadows because it's just a poor photo. It doesn't look like a bad house. Yes, it would be nice if they would have fixed some of those things, but you've got to really think, is this a decent home? Okay. So I'm seeing some coloration back here. I don't know if you can see my cursor or not, but under the left side of the window, this bigger window here, about 2/3 of the way to the right, it looks like a shadow of this little plant. And then to the right of that window is another shadow, looks like a shadow of the plant. But when I look at the bottom left corner, just to the right of the gutter, the downspout, that does not look like a shadow. That looks like potential mold, dirt, something like that. And when I'm looking at the wall that backs up, on the back side of the patio there, that also looks like either dirt, mold, something like that. Am I overly concerned about that? I'm not concerned about that on the exterior of the house. However, this looks, this right wall does not look like it's stucco. It looks like it's wood. That could eat that up over time if not well maintained. And then you start to wonder, okay, what else are they not maintaining? That looks phenomenal. Nice flooring, updated flooring. That's probably the most valuable flooring we've looked at so far. And then we've got original tile. This is pretty common, though. You've got a certain budget. Oh, that's all we get to see. And so you say, okay, what can we spend? You can't fix the whole thing, but you do what you can. It's pretty normal. So now we're going down to $289,900. Again, cute elevation. Doesn't look like they've got a garage. They've got a carport. Looks like you can get 2 cars in there. Nice flooring. Really nice flooring. Okay, so in here we've got not only dated carpet, but you can see it's starting to bunch up. That's just going to get worse. We do have 8-foot ceilings in here. It looks like popcorn ceilings, but I can't fully tell. Okay, tasteful, dated, but tasteful. More carpet, dated. Yeah, so really the big amenity here is this flooring in the main area. Kitchen looks really nice. Is it dated? Yes, but it looks very nice. Lots of natural light. I like that. But again, any little thing you don't like, you got to remember the thing you do like is the price. It's $289,900. I get a lot of people in these lower price points that are like, well, I don't like it because it's yellow and I wish it was blue. And I think, guys, if you were my kids, I'd tell you, be quiet. Just get yourself in a house, start building up equity. And on your next home, you can start being picky, right? But you got to get in and start owning. Get rid of paying somebody else's mortgage down. Okay, this looks like a very similar house. Not staged well, dated. Let's see if we've got some sort of update in here that excites us. Nope, nothing in here. Maybe the bathrooms. It's not bad. We got carpets. No, this isn't updated. Yeah, but again, so there's nothing that really wows me. But what does wow me and what should wow you if you want that roughly $2,400 to $2,800 a month payment is the fact that it's got a newer roof. Hopefully after inspection, there's no major issues with it in that doggone price point. That's what you're looking for, right? Okay, now we're dropping to $280,000. We've got 4 more to look at, this one included. Okay, this is a little bit different elevation. You've got a 1-stall garage here, which is nice. Dated flooring, but that's fairly common. Really open layout. This is kind of cute. I like this. I can't tell if it looks like it's granite, but I can't fully tell. Nicer flooring in here. Wainscoting. I think this matches the kitchen, which is for Micah. I don't know that, but I think that. Okay, nice shower, and they got a newer vanity. So other than the flooring and the lighting, they updated the bathroom. Is this a shot or is this a split shot? I think this is a split shot. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that before in the MLS. And then you got a nice big back patio, screened, covered. There's your laundry room. Nice big backyard, and it's fully fenced in, and you got a shed. Yeah, so you could have kids or dogs and you're good there. All right, let's look at what do we got? 3 more. Okay. Here I'm worried about how well are they maintaining it. The garage door doesn't look great. The weeds weren't pulled and they're trying to hopefully get top dollar. Didn't power wash the driveway. I said wash there. I've been hanging around too many New Yorkers. Yeah, the floors are a little dirty. So then it's a question of, okay, is it just dirty or do we have a lot of deferred maintenance? And you're maybe going to be able to see some of that when you're walking through the home. Like photos are purposely trying to hide a lot of different things. But if you miss something, that again is why you pay for an inspector, is so that they can come in. This looks like terrazzo flooring, so that they can come in and tell you. Yeah. So again, I know you're looking at this saying, I don't like that. You get a pool. Although you want to make sure that pool is, I wouldn't care if it's dirty. I mean, you can get it cleaned. What I would care about is, does it need to be resurfaced? Does it have cracks? Anything like that. Yeah, a lot of deferred maintenance here. Holy smokes. So you just want to take all that into consideration. I'd be hesitant to recommend this to a first-time home buyer. That looks possibly like an investor home, but again, it's really hard to tell looking at photos. This one looks cute. Stucco new roof. The garage door is a little beat up. Can you see that? But again, you're getting the price. So you've got to look beyond little aesthetic things like that. It's not the biggest deal in the world. The rest of it looks cute. This looks really cute. Updated flooring, shaker cabinets, more modern hardware. Looks like newer or maybe even brand new stainless steel appliances. You've got the microwave, you've got the dishwasher, quartz countertops with a big quartz backsplash. Okay, matching flooring comes into the dining room and family room. French doors, 2 closets in the bedroom. This is nice. This is nice. Why is this? This is nice. It is dated, possibly original, but it's nice. You don't have a fence that you have on the others, but for some people, they're not going to care. That's a great home. Again, I'm only able to tell you what the photos look like, but that one's $269,900. Okay, here's the cheapest one that we found. This one's $249,900. Okay, so they turned their carport into like a screened-in side patio. All right, so the loss is the carport, although you've got a long driveway, you can probably fit 2-3 cars in there, and you gained a screened-in side patio. That's kind of nice, and you can see both the front and the back. Maybe you like that, maybe you don't. Okay, it looks like we got terrazzo flooring. This is all fake furniture, I guarantee it, but it looks nice. Yeah. Okay. Let's see that kitchen. All right, dated but tasteful. A little tight, but again, tasteful. And you're getting the price. You're getting $249,900. You got a gas stove. It looks like you got a double wall oven. It looks like everything is it stainless steel? I don't know about that oven. What is, the pantry door is open. I see what's going on. I don't know that they got a microwave. Okay, there's your bathroom. Yeah, it's dated. Yeah, it's awkward. But again, guys, you're getting that $250 price point. Buy a home. Buy a home and start paying down your mortgage instead of paying down your landlord's mortgage. Start taking advantage of all of that appreciation that everybody's complaining about who didn't buy. You got to start at some point. And this is a place where you could actually do it. So there you go. All right. So that is option number 1. Now, let's go look at option number 2, which is homeowners association. Yes. But I'm going to have to do a couple things here. First of all, we want to look at roof age. Your roof installed. Let me get rid of these 11 that were not in HOAs. Okay, so your roof installed. Yeah, see, a lot of realtors just don't enter it. I don't know why. And we're going to come down to 2015. Doesn't mean you can't buy a roof that's put on in 2014. It's just, I got to draw a line somewhere. And I've never had a buyer not comfortable with a 10-year-old roof Once you get older than that, they start to get questionable. Okay, so we've got 12. Okay. 12 of these. Now what I got to look at, and I got to do a little math here. Every $100 of HOA, I'm going to take off 15 grand in price. Okay. So here we've got 60 grand. That one's not going to cut it. That's not equivalent to that roughly $300,000 price tag. All right. What's 482? Let's do it. 482. Well, let's go 4.82 times 15,000. That'd be 100,000. Is that right? $100 is $15,000. So yeah, okay, that's right. So $72,000. So we need to be at like 228. None of these are 228. This one's going to be way over. Okay, this one will work. So we'll look at this one. You can see buying outside of an HOA is going to work much easier. This is a no, no, no. That one's a maybe. This one is a no. And this one is a no. So $100 is 15 grand. So it's going to be 30 grand. Okay, so that one will work. So we have literally two. Literally two. And again, there's probably more. It's just the realtor did not fill in the year that the roof was installed, so we don't know if it's got a newer roof. If you've got an agent that you've hired, they're working for you, they're going to dig in and find that information out. But let's take a look at these. Both of these are 900 and some square feet, 932, 948. Both are 2-bed, 2 baths. One's got a garage. It's a 1-stall. One does not. One's been on for 4 months. One's been on for 1 month. They were built in 90 and 86. Let's take a look at the map so you can see where they're at. Both are on the east side. One looks like it's right on 1 or very close to 1, and the other one's a little bit east. So this first one is, let's see if it's right on 1 or how close it is. I don't know if you're going to see one, but you're probably going to hear one. But let's get in and take a look at it. This one is 159.9. 159.9. So there's your community pool, little clubhouse, hot tub. Oh, this is cute. Granite countertops, stainless steel appliances. You got the microwave. I can see the top of a dishwasher. Nicer cabinets. Did I say granite countertops? Got a nice little breakfast bar there. Updated lighting with a fan. Updated flooring. Yeah, this is cute. These guys did a great job. Okay, the newer flooring carries into the bedroom. Let me come back to that. Oh, you're looking at the... I thought that was the pool area. It looks like the parking lot. Okay, so here, this is a master. Okay, this is cute. This is really cute. Yep. Nicely done. Looks like you got the same flooring throughout. Nicely done. Nice little patio. That's great. Okay, so it looks like you're on the second level. I don't know if that's for sure, but so there you go. And that's 160 with a monthly of 643. So 6.43 times roughly 15,000 plus 160. That's equivalent to a roughly $256,000 house. Exactly? No, but just roughly. And that is a cute little sucker. And you got a pool and a hot tub, and you're in a nice little area, and a lot of the stuff that you're worried about is being taken care of. Okay, this next one's going to be roughly equivalent to a $290,000 price tag outside of an HOA. Roughly the same square footage. Okay. 1-stall garage. Walton Court. All right, let's see the inside here. Okay. All right. Did that say pool? Oh, I thought it was talking about this whole area. All right, I got it. Gate, yep, got it. Are we going to get to see the inside? Here we go. All right. So, yes, it's dated. Yes, that is a tiny microwave. But it's under 300,000. And one nice thing about HOAs, I know, people give HOAs a hard time, is you've got so many things included. You don't have to worry, usually, it depends on the place, about cable, about Wi-Fi, about lawn care, about pest control, any of that stuff. Not only do you not have to worry about the actual task getting done or hiring the person or coordinating or any of that, you don't have to worry about the cost. It's included in your HOA fee. So there you go. So guys, there are two different ways to look at trying to stay underneath that $300,000 price point. It can be done. You've got to be realistic with what you're going to get for that price point. There are a lot of homes in there. I'm not saying everyone that we looked at, but we looked at, what was it, 11 plus 2? We looked at roughly 13. If I showed my girls, who I love, they're 12 and 9, so they got a few years, but if they were of age to purchase a home, and I knew everything on the inspection with all 13 of those properties, there's probably 7, 8, 9 of them that I would feel completely comfortable with them purchasing, assuming they were comfortable with that $2,400 to $2,800 a month payment, right? Cute little houses. Are they all updated? No. Do they have little things you need to take care of at Home Depot on the weekend? Yes. Are they your dream house? No. But again, I want to see you guys starting to make good financial decisions. Don't live in the rental because it's cute, and if you buy a home, it's not cute. Live in the home that's not cute. Build up that appreciation. Build up that, paying down of your mortgage. So when you sell, you get that equity back in a check. And now in 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you can take that big fat check you'll get from selling and you can level up on that house, something you cannot do when you're renting. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully you feel confident about what you can get now at $300,000. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments. And if you've got ideas or questions for future videos, feel free to send them in a private DM over Facebook. Guys, thanks for joining me. Have a wonderful weekend.